I'm Kathy Martin. This is the Catbird Quilts. We're at QuiltCon 2023 in Atlanta. There are a ton of people here, so we have no idea how this is going to go. But I will tell you this. I am not the only one that has a lot to say here today. You might hear all of the din of people talking, lots of excitement, but we're going to go through the exhibition hall and maybe go check out some vendors and just give you a day tour of QuiltCon. So I'm in the booth of keynote speaker Sean Kimber. This quilt is called And Miles to Go Before I Sleep, which is a reference to one of my favorite poems of all time. It has hand quilting and machine quilting, and it's like every quilt. Once you get up close, it is just stunning. The title of this quilt is Sharecropper, and because I'm that person that likes to read all the descriptions, we're going to be here all day. It says that it's made from the shirt of a sharecropper, and the shirt was found on the ground. So I think the whole using found materials and shirts and thrifted fabric, we're going to find a lot of it. This is one her friends sent her their scraps and she made it. You're kidding.
No, I do, Capper. See, stars lying.
So this is just a beautiful piece of work from Sean Kimber. And I've seen this quilt. I've seen pictures of this quilt. I was not expecting it to be the size that it is. And I was also not expecting the pieces to be as tiny as they are. I mean, y'all, smaller than my pinky. And it is just as stunning in person, more stunning in person than it is in pictures, but just some beautiful work here. So this is, oh, I'm sorry, I'll move out. Okay. Oh, you sweetie.
Thank you.
This is the best in show for QuiltCon 2023. It is just so beautiful and such an interesting combination of colors and quilting. We just wanted to get the best in show before we moved on. So this is I Can Fly. So this one is best quilting frameless by Claire Victor. Nice to meet you. So this is the Taylor quilt by one of my favorite designers, Erica Jackman. She's kitchen table quilting, and she does a lot of patterns that end up looking like plaid. So she actually, one of her most popular patterns is called Plaidish. This is the Taylor quilt. And what's really great about this particular one that they have hanging is it's almost an identical quilt pattern. So on this one, it's on the X and Y axis, and on this it's diagonal, but it's the same, basically the same quilting pattern, but it sets apart every block and really makes it distinctive. And then there's a lovely little loop-de-loop in the sashing in between, but the overall effect when you're standing away is just, it just looks like plaid, and it is so beautiful. What am I even trying to do?
Just anything you want. So think about it like it's a pencil, right?
Okay.
You're just gonna draw on the paper. I mean, you can
Okay.
trace things on here, but you can.
Okay.
We always say write your name like in cursive.
Right.
You know that.
Right. Okay, so I go,
There you go. And you don't have to.
oh my goodness. Oh
And then it's
gosh.
so
Okay. I want to like do this now. This is so fun. Really beautiful, which we all want it to look really beautiful and really personal. And it's
painful.
it is. It is. That is so awesome. And you're Jody. It's nice to meet you. I'm Kathy Martin. So this is Lo and Behold Stitchery, another quilt designer that I really love. And if you've seen the quilt story, the Celtic Crossing quilt, this is the designer, and lovely as you might imagine.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Just getting a shot of that gorgeous quilt. I bought a purple shirt, a small men's shirt, to figure out how much fabric is in a small men's shirt. And it was the color of your purple that you love so much.
Oh, I love that purple. Oh my God.
So
it's my
much.
favorite. Yeah.
So I was like, I need to actually use this in a quilt because I bought the shirt at the thrift store for $1.50.
That's amazing. That's
And
amazing.
the grab bag filled in all the gaps.
That's so good.
So I'm so glad to meet
Well,
you.
welcome.
I love this. I really do. I haven't made a looper quilt yet, but I really have been dreaming of it. Yes, I have really wanted to. And so I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, I have to go over there. I do. And I have used this speckled, and I love it
Yeah.
so much. But are you Miss Make?
Yes, these are my patterns. Yeah, I'm Devin.
I only know you as Miss Make.
Yeah.
I follow you on Instagram. I'm Kathy Martin, and it's nice to meet you. And you recently did another one that I love. Tell me the name of it. That one is the one with all the, and then there's the other one that was before that. Yes. I don't normally like quilts with a black background, but that one on black is amazing. I'm struggling right now. I love it. It's so fun. I'm so pleased to meet you. I really love your aesthetic.
Thank you.
Those little strips are so hard to do. So, one of our favorite, the last Homely House episodes where she did the blocks, and it's like she sewed this, they call them strings. So she sewed the strings to the thing and then trimmed it. That's what this is, and they made an X out of it. And it's called Scrap Bin Quilt #1. So you can use all your little scraps and then do it on the diagonal, and it, however you want the quilt to look, you turn the blocks that way. I love it. That is glorious, and hand quilted too. Man. And so creative. This is the X challenge. So all of these are all the X's in the back. I know. It's the stitching. So they use neon thread on this one. So it's all white. So it kind of has that like glowy. It says, from afar, it appears that multiple shades of each fabric were used, but upon closer inspection, the viewer can see that each stitch line of neon thread is what makes it look different. So it's the same fabric. The whole thing is the same fabric. That is phenomenal. It's kind of the same idea. This is Audrey Essery or Asari, Esarey. Essery. That is beautiful.
Is this you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Like it's perfect.
It is perfect. It's amazing.
Look, it's just.
Oh my gosh, Paul. This is a block. That's a block. The only reason it looks curved is because the quilting is curved. So it's like, that's a block. That's a block. That's a rectangular block. So it looks like it's this because of the quilting, but it's not. It's just, it's square blocks or a rectangle. Like this is a rectangular block right there, but it looks like that's crazy. Carolyn Hadley from East Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. So I read an article about this or a post or something, and her remark was, when you do all these variations of white and cream, all that's left is the texture. So for those of you that are wondering about seersucker and eyelet lace and all of the textured shirt fabrics and dress fabrics, you could do that. This is what this will look like. And so you get all this texture. And it's called Milky Opals by Lorena Uriarte. Uriarte. So we rounded the corner and went, ooh. This one has so much negative space, so much white background. And lately I've been talking a lot about how I have so much appreciation now for the quilting aspect. This one has beautiful piecing, but the quilting is really what's making this shine, especially up close. It is amazing. So it's called That's a Peel Breaker by Ben Millett. And it is, the quilting is phenomenal. It really is. But it's a beautiful idea of an orange peel that has been broken up into pieces. So it's pieced peels and then just such engaging quilting. So this one is one slot over from the That's a Peel Breaker that's green. And it's completely different and exactly the same. So it's got this beautiful creamy white background. This one doesn't have as much detail in the background quilting. It's a little bit shy of matchstick quilting, but it is just really what makes it dynamic is what's going on with the piecing. It just doesn't have a static. It's dynamic. It looks like it's moving, and the color is amazing. So that is the Pretty in Pink, and it is by Karen Burns. That is by Elsa McKenna from Memphis, Tennessee. So some beautiful applique. I like that a lot. So this shirt, this quilt reminds me of the purple shirt. And if I ever need to get the purple shirt out and have some inputs, this would be the one. The quilting is amazing though. It's Sunshine Dream by Karen Stone. So this is called Coffee and Cream by Lorraine Woodruff Long. And for those of you that have your coffee while you're watching the Catbird Quilts, this is this quilt is for you. I took one look at it and went, oh, it's exactly like when you pour half and half into, and it like bubbles up and makes this. So, oh, glorious. So this was made from a giant log cabin single block, and then she cut it up and rearranged it. Inspired from the Biscotti Quilt Workshop. That is amazing. And you can kind of see like where the blocks were. So this is called Granddaughter's Flower Garden by Nikki Woolsey. And if you're familiar with a grandma's flower garden, it's the hexes put together. And so she took her version of hexes and changed them into different sizes and put it in that gorgeous, it's almost like a tsunami wave. And the quilting on it is incredible. It's just absolutely stunning. This is Paint Chip Love. It's just tons and tons of solids, but paired together beautifully. It's like going to Lowe's. I don't know if any of you go to Lowe's and just stand there in the paint aisle, but I do, like, oh my gosh. So this makes me happy. It's like my Pantone mug. I love it so much. This is by Emily Parson. I said it. Look at that. Woo! It's a lot of work. And the precision is unbelievable. I would lose my mind. Yes, it is.
But it's still so flat.
It is. I know. It's almost like a mat. It's like a sisal rug or sisal rug or whatever. That is gorgeous. That's Kelly Spell from Hickson, Tennessee, which is where my first college boyfriend was from.
It was done after.
After it was quilted.
Yeah. They don't show up. Maybe
Right.
there's two backing.
Well, that's what I thought. 'cause
Or
some
if you
people
just,
do
I mean,
that.
because you're hand stitching it, so
Yeah,
you
you
just
just-
slide your needle underneath.
And
But now
underneath
it
that
says
little
It's like
piece.
confetti.
But that
Oh, it
many
is confetti.
times, that's the, but in
Holy
time that it would take to do
mackerel.
that.
I know. So there's all these curved pieces, but then in the center are these miniature pineapple blocks and applique and just curved pieces, all with Ruby Star Society. That is gorgeous. Ruby, oh, it is Fiona Johnstone of Cumbernauld, Lanarkshire, United Kingdom. So at first blush, this quilt looks like it's made up of half square triangles, but it's actually hand stitched cross stitches. So it's solid color blocks with hand stitched like cross stitches. And then I think it has also been hand stitched straight. So it just is this beautiful combination of hand stitching and zigzag stitch to hold the pieces together. What a beautiful quilt. And that is by Jennifer Bromell. And I think it's second place in the hand stitching category. And boy, you can see why. Oh, so what she did is she turned log cabins on the bias, and then there are log cabins around the outside. And then she hand stitched through the center. So it creates this like divot instead of like stitching in the ditch. She stitched across, making like a rut in it. And that is called It's Not What It Seems, SEAMS. We love a good pun here in the quilting world. And it's Mara Light, Light. That is gorgeous. Just gorgeous piecing and quilting. We're in the American patchwork quilting and log cabin category. This is Together We Weave by the Central Oregon Modern Quilt Guild. I have a hard time saying Modern Quilt Guild. And in the placard, it talks about how that quilt guild, they're all different types of people, but it's woven together. And so that's what they did with this challenge of doing that kind of lemon yellow to blue gradient. They did it as a weave, and the individual little quilting behind the woven strips is amazing. Just so well done. So this is Florally by Heather Heck in Creswell, Oregon. This quilt to me is so pleasing because of the symmetry of it, and the colorway is phenomenal. I just got done saying out loud that the quilts that I really admire and love and kind of gush over are not actually sometimes the quilts that I make, because a lot of modern quilts have a lot of background. And so I use a lot of shirts and I don't have a lot of the same shirt. So a lot of times I make, I think I just said a lot, like 16 times in one sentence. The quilts that I make do not use a lot of negative space, but this one is gorgeous. That is unbelievable.
I have problems finishing my 2.5 inch square
Right.
for a Tiffany quilt.
I'm like, you would have to hand piece that, wouldn't you? You couldn't even machine it because so this is called Alley Neighbors by Ellen Meeker. And so this is the Ruby and Bee, Wyndham Fabrics Ruby and Bee Fabric Challenge. So there are 6 fabrics that were suggested. You have to use 4 of the 6. And this one, I don't know, there's something about it to me that is really, really visually compelling and beautiful. And it's got beautiful piecing, and the quilting is gorgeous, but I could just look at this all day. But I am a modern art lover, so it kind of reminds me of that. So anyway, this was also the first place winner, so obviously it was very appreciated. So I feel like I'm here on location, WBRC6. Just kidding. I'm Kathy Martin. This is the Catbird Quilts, and I'm at QuiltCon in Atlanta 2023. It is excruciatingly loud in here because apparently I'm not the only one that has a lot to say. But we're here for the day. I'm still holding this pen like it's a microphone. I have to put it down.